Well, the Hindsight boys are going to help me out with this today, but in true stupid-ass Kevin fashion, I kind of want to see if I can do it myself. So I have engineered this gadget, which has already slipped once, but I corrected that. So I just wanted to turn on the camera just in case it works, and just in case it doesn't. So the good thing about all the guys being here would be that it would help balance it. Or they would help balance it. So we're going to see what we can do here. And if we F this up, which is highly possible, well, at least it's on camera, because that's the best way to have it, is on camera. But if it works, I could be a damn genius. So what would you do? Wait or not? That is the question. At least this maybe might not let it slide completely. Or it might, I don't know, shit. Might just completely flop and be a god dang disaster. But let's see, I think I'm going to drop the back down on the jack stands. And maybe see how this works. Which is another disastrous plan in itself. But hey, we'll see. The good thing about having stuff on wheels is that it's on wheels, right? So you can move it around. The bad thing about having stuff on wheels is that it moves around. So it's a little tricky sometimes. When stuff starts moving around on you. So let's see how this goes. I guess worst case scenario, I'm just doing some more body work. You know what? I'm dropping this thing all the way down. See if we can get it out of here. The bad thing about that is, if it falls, it's going to fall quite a ways before it lands. So, let's see what I can do here. I think if I drop it all the way down, it won't clear the engine hoist. I'm going to put a block underneath it or something. We'll find out in a second. Oh, yeah, that wasn't smart. Kevin, was it? Let's see. Like that. Okay, okay. Okay, okay. Let's get some crap out of the way. When it slipped a minute ago, it freaked me out so bad that I tensed up and tweaked my upper back again. It's funny, every time I hurt my back, it's not because I'm actually doing something. It just happens. I mean, I wasn't stressing my back. I just twitched real bad. Ah! And, ouch, it went. Okay. Now, we can Hey, it's gonna work. Glad I turned on the camera now. Kinda. Grab the bolts here real fast in the front cab mounts. Maybe as this thing goes down, if I have the bolt sitting in there, it'll help get it into the right place. I should probably shoot, I forgot to take the chain off the back of that engine. So I think those blocks back there are working against me. I'm gonna kill this camera because I'm gonna run out. But so after that balancing act, which actually worked out pretty good, may not have been able to see it in that video, but this 4x4, I mean, it's an old treated 4x4 I had laying around that was from an old fence post or something that I kept for God knows what reason, except for, you know, to lift a cab off of one chassis and put it on another someday. Anyway, she was bowing pretty good, but I didn't have any doubts. I had screwed this 2x6 to the top of it too, so I did not think that this would be that much weight to where it would affect that. And it didn't. But after that balancing act, we got it pretty close. I still have to do a little adjusting, but it dropped it down pretty good. I was a little worried about, this is why I adjusted that cab, by the way, the clearance here, which is going to close up. It doesn't normally have that much clearance. I was a little worried that I was going to create more problems for myself because the engine lift chain was still attached to the back where the trans mounts to the engine. And I had a couple blocks of wood jammed in there so it wouldn't, you know, put pressure on the valve cover and all that. So I was a little worried that I might have caused myself some more work there because I hadn't undone it yet. But I was able to get to it, mainly because it's still sitting back pretty decent. So I'm going to get under this thing and got the back wheels back on it. God, I love the way this truck sits. Maybe one day I'll be able to drive it. Anyway, I'm going to get the cab squared up and get the bolts in it. Not going to bolt it down completely yet, but I am going to get the bolts in it and put the steering box back in, run my fuel lines back under, get the clutch line back over to where it's supposed to be. I have a lot of work to do on that clutch, and I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do yet because that pivot point on the clutch just does not seem right. Either that or it needs a heavier spring or some type of spring. I don't know. It needs work. And it may be something beyond me. But anyway, I'm going to get some of that stuff laid back in there, get the wiring kind of laid back to the front. Because after I get some oil in it, I want to fire this engine. And I'll get the radiator kind of set up in there, just makeshift. So I want to run that engine to make sure I'm not going to be blowing oil out everywhere. If I have to drop that oil pan again, I think there's a good amount of room there. So I may not have to move the engine. If I do, I might just have to lift it up a little bit. That's what all the YouTube videos I watched as far as replacing the pan on these straight sixes, on these 300s, in a mid-90s truck, which is what this came out of. You have to lift the engine just a little bit to get that out of there. This doesn't look much different than those pictures, to be honest with you. So I'm hoping that if I have to do anything down there, I'll be able to do it without too much effort in getting this lifted up and out of the way. And another thing I might do now that I'm looking at it, and I think I might have mentioned this before, once I do the temporary fire up, let it warm up thing to see if the engine oil is slinging out everywhere, I think I might take it to the car wash like this. And this thing needs a good blasting. Not as much on this side as it does on this side. So I need to see, I mean, obviously there's been oil leaks over the years, and I don't know if it's valve cover or what, but, or that side plate that's in there that runs the length of the engine. I don't know. but I may do that before I get too deep in getting the front end back on. It's just because it's so available and so open here without that front clip on. Anyway, just gonna button up a lot of this stuff in this area, get the cab squared up, and try to get that done today. Let's see what happens.
No, it ain't no meal.